Hello vlog. It is Tuesday. We're in a new vlog. I haven't filmed in a couple days because I was having some personal time with myself, with friends. I didn't really want to film it. I think we're gonna have a heavy reading vlog this week, and I'm really gonna be intentional about getting into what I'm reading, my thoughts on it, and all of that stuff. I have just finished editing and uploading the vlog that's going live tomorrow, so I'm just sort of letting my laptop recuperate. I want to give myself some time away from screens because I did so much editing yesterday and I have a ton more to edit for this week and next week. Just want to give myself like an hour or two to just read on the physical page, and then we'll sort of get into some home stuff. I went to the beach the other day and I need to put my beach stuff away. I need to do a little bit of tidying, so all of that is going to be this afternoon with an audiobook, because I'm really trying to sort of finish up the books that I'm in the middle of right now. I finished The Husbands last night, which was fabulous. We'll talk about it a little later. I'll plan on doing a hunker down chatty moment a little bit later. I'm still working on Darkwater Daughter. I think I have about 100 pages left, so I'm really hoping to finish this. Yeah, I have just over 100 pages left in this, so I really want to finish this today. And I'm 2 hours away from the end of the audiobook of Annie Bot, which I'm really enjoying. So I think when I get into my cleaning, tidying mode, I'll be able to finish that tonight. And then I just have a big old stack here. This is what I'm going to be reading through. I think I'm going to do one of my, I don't know if I would call it a reading sprint, but it's something I do when I'm not really sure what book I want to pick up next. And since I'm about to finish 2 books today, hopefully, I kind of want to get 2 or 3 under my belt. So what I'll do is for about an hour, I will read 1 chapter from every book and sort of rotate them. And then when I get to a point where I don't want to stop reading, then I'll sort of keep going with that book. So I think I'll do sort of 1 round through and then maybe hop into Darkwater Daughter, or I want to get into something else. I'm just going to kind of see what the vibe is. Put on a little ambiance thing on my TV and get a little playlist going, and then have a little cozy reading time. It's Tuesday. We're having an even more chill day, not flashing my dress, than yesterday, clearly, because I'm in a sweatshirt. I did not forget about you. I just decided to film specifically short form content last night, so I didn't get a chance to talk to you about the books that I picked up yesterday, but we're gonna have that chat a little later. First, my roommate just brought up some mail for me. Let's see what this is. This is Bound by Gravity by Jenny Hickman. I think I got this from Nerd Fan, potentially. The dedication is for those of us grieving. There is no wrong way. I appreciate the sentiment, but I've been finding that where I'm at in my grieving process, I don't like reading about it. It's very difficult for me. Oh, there's stuff. Anybody that hasn't been following me on Instagram or TikTok for the last 2 years, both of my grandmothers passed away in 2022, and this has been one of the most intense grieving processes I've had. I am no stranger to loss, but that doesn't make it easy when it happens, and I've just been finding that I have a really hard time reading about it. I don't know why that made me really emotional. So I just flipped to a random page. I found a bundle of stuff. We've got a bookmark, some eyes, presumably of our main characters. I can't tell if this is a sticker or a tattoo. What do we think? It's very pretty. Okay, it's a sticker. There's like a protective thing on it that made it really was giving a tattoo. Okay, and then this is our male guy. I don't love this one as much as this one. I think, oh my god, oh, this is going on my water bottle immediately. I'm an invisible potato. That is, it's so cute. Wow, I love this. Okay, so the two main characters, I think both of them thought each other was dead, have been living their lives separately in separate realms. Now one of them is potentially getting married and they figure out that each other is alive and what kept them apart. And there's a castle full of traitors, so I feel like it's gonna be kind of political intrigue. Okay, I feel like this I might be able to do, because if the grief is that they think each other is dead, but they're not actually dead, I think I could work through that. Today has been chill. I took a sculpting class this morning. It kicked my booty. But before that, I got a bunch of editing done before the class, which was great. So I've been sort of like uploading stuff and putting it in places to be uploaded. I feel like my eyes need a break from the screen. I have some makeup brushes to wash, so I might watch Drive to Survive when I do that, because I just finished Annie Bot and I feel like I wanna save brain space for this stack of books that I started yesterday and really like commit to finishing Darkwater Daughter today and getting into 1 or 2 or 3. I just feel like I'm being smothered by books in my bedroom, and I would really like to get a handle on that particular stack, because one of my goals for this year was to read all the unread books on my bookshelf out here, and it's still very full. Like, I have really not committed to doing that as much as I thought I would. I feel like I need to recommit to the physical books in my space. Day is gonna wait for me. Before I skip to tomorrow, I thought I would share some new skincare. I don't love that. Oh, it looks like it's missing some. Well, that's annoying as hell. It's like I bought one that was used, but I want to use these. I don't want to take them back to Sephora tomorrow and be like, hey, this was open. I ran into Sephora today just because I've been having, we've been talking about this, right? Like, I've been having some flare-ups with my acne around this area of my face, and they've been ebbing and flowing, and right now they are flowing. So I went in to pick up some pimple patches, and I saw that InkyList has just released the hydrocolloid invisible pimple patches, and they come in 2 different sizes. So this is them, and I thought we could give them a try. Now, the thing that was annoying me was when I opened it, this was open, and it's missing too. So clearly someone went into this box and took patches, which is gross. Like, the box definitely didn't look like it had been opened, but it also doesn't have one of those tape seals, which is a little suspicious. Anyway, let's give these a go, shall we? Wow, they are really quite see-through. That's amazing. I've never had that happen at Sephora before. I've never picked up a product that has clearly been tampered with. I've gotten damaged products. I had like a damaged makeup removing oil show up, and there was oil literally all over the box when I'd ordered it, but that's very different. That's very different. Hello vlog, happy Wednesday. I need to just order some like earring backs, because I don't know what happened to the one that went to this earring, but I went to put it on and it just fell off. Like, the hole had eroded. I've just been taking earring backs from other earrings. I want to wear these hoops. Thursday. Wow, it's Thursday. Happy Wednesday. We are getting ready because I'm taking myself out. I've spent most of this week indoors and I feel like I want to get out for the next few days. So I was going through my, where is it? Hold please. I was going through my ultimate romance reading challenge, and one of the challenges is, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find it quickly. Oh, here we go. Make a list of ways to enjoy your own company, complete 3 and collect your prize. I've made a little list of things that I enjoy, and also just things I like to do on my own. I've gotten to the point in summer where I'm sick of wearing summer clothes. July isn't even over, so that's great for me. But I also think I'm not doing a Nuuly rental for the next month. I'm kind of taking a little bit of time off. One, to save some money, and two, because I just felt like when my billing cycle was, I wasn't really lining up with when there was a lot available on Nuuly, and I have a wedding coming up at the beginning of September that I would really like to be able to rent like potentially 2 or 3 dress options for. I'm really kind of keeping an eye on when things are getting returned and are available again in my size so that I can kind of make an optimal purchase date, if you will. So it just felt like the best thing to do was to just pause and I can resume when things are looking good. I'm a little sick of my own wardrobe because I've really pared it down a lot since I've started doing Nuuly, and a lot of my clothes are not conducive to like 80-degree weather. Like, I don't own shorts, at least not here. I don't like wearing them. I prefer wearing dresses, and I've been wearing the same dresses over and over and over. So I've just kind of hit the point where I'm like, I just want a cool day where I can just wear like a cute workout outfit and do like athleisure. And it's pretty overcast. I think it's like getting up to 80, but I was like, I'm just gonna wear a workout outfit. I'm just gonna wear a workout outfit. So that's what we're doing. I have on basically an all black outfit. I'll do like the pop of pink in my sneakers. And then I was like, well, I can put a face on. I have been really enjoying this little foundation that I picked up. It is Makeup Forever HD Skin Undetectable Stay True Foundation, and I'm using the shade 1R02 R210. I wasn't sure how I was gonna like it, especially when I applied it the very first time. I couldn't really get a gauge on how sheer it was. I've used it a couple times since then, and I absolutely love the way it makes my skin look, especially when I pair it with the Hollywood Flawless filter. It is very lightweight, like it's more of a buildable foundation. I do find I can get a little bit more coverage when I use a sponge, which is shocking, but I don't even want to use a lot of it today. It makes my skin just look so hydrated, and it's pretty long wearing. I feel like the days that I wore it, I really expected the most out of it, and it really delivered, which was quite a choice to make with a new foundation. So that is something new in my beauty routine that I'm obsessing over. I feel like I've been sleeping, but the bags under my eyes have been unreal. I am still taking a break from that Essence mascara. My eyes have not been having that irritation issue that they were having since I went back to my waterproof mascara by Tarte. I might retire the Essence one. I feel pretty good about that. I think I just need to powder. I have been wanting to go to TJ Maxx. I would like to do like one home project over the next week, and I think I'd really like to tackle my bathroom. So we're gonna look at some organization drawers. I'm still on the hunt for new bedding. I am quite a simple person. I feel like I enjoy window shopping. I like walking around. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna peruse. I would love to go get some home decor inspo. So we might do that for a little bit. I also would really love to go get a donut because that is something that I love doing. I'll have to check the map again. We might go back to one of my favorite places if I don't come across a like new to me spot. There are plenty of donut places in the city that I haven't been. However, I do kind of want to stick to a particular path. So if one comes up on that journey, great. If not, I kind of have one in mind. I was thinking about taking myself to the movies, but I think that's going to depend on if I do buy anything, because if I'm buying like containers and stuff and I have quite a big load with me, I don't want to take that to the movies. I just need to pack my bag, pop on my charm necklace, and we'll be out the door. I sometimes forget that my apartment is, what's the word, misleading when it comes to what it's doing outside. So the all black is definitely a choice. It's very muggy today. Okay, so that was a mildly successful TJ Maxx run. I did end up buying 2 things. I had some clothes in my hand, but I'm really trying to not buy things unless I love them, and I was not in love with them. So that's okay. But I did get a little Lazy Susan for the bathroom, for like nail polish remover, hairsprays, that kind of stuff. And then I ended up finding a little bust. And when Alexa and I moved into this place, we'd really wanted like a little bust thing for our mantle, but a lot of them were huge and expensive, and we were having a really hard time finding them. So I just sort of let it slip into the back of my mind. And I think I saw something a couple weeks ago that kind of like put it back in my mind, but I was totally not expecting to find not one but two options. I really wanted the pink one. I think the pink one would have fit in our space really well as like a fun pop and started adding color back into the space. But there was something about the finish on it that was very different from the white, and I don't know if it's because of the color or the paint that they used, but it looked very ceramic and like a ceramic project as opposed to this like kind of innocuous bust. I am kind of in need of actual sustenance, so I might take a little peruse and see if I can find something I can walk around with. Stopped in to a cute little bookstore that I've been wanting to go to for a while. I didn't realize how small it was. It is one singular room, and there were more workers there than customers. I think when I walked in there were two, and then suddenly I was the only customer in the store. So I didn't film or anything in there. Felt a little odd. I didn't really want more eyes on me than it felt like there already were. So that's okay. I love a little stop in, see what people are stocking. Now we are off to get a donut. I was gonna pop into the container store because the containers I was looking for were just a little too deep. I think the container store is probably gonna be where I have to go, but I am getting to the point where my feet and hips no longer want to work, so we're gonna make our way to the subway and head home after a little afternoon outing. Okay, let's take a look at her. I actually should wipe her down with Lysol. This is our bust. I love her so much. I couldn't even believe that I found one. Looking at the space now, I am thinking about painting her pink. I'm not gonna lie. I think I'll let her live white for a little while, and then we might have a little project to paint her the right color pink too. Color of pink, I don't know if it was showing up on the camera. The color of pink in the store was a little bit lighter than I like in my decor. Might be a customizing project, but I'll let her be white for a little bit and we'll see what happens. I am kind of like, if I was in the mood to style my bookshelves, she would look really cute on the shelves, but I think we're gonna try and find a spot on the mantle for her. I really want her to go here, but I don't know if like the offset of the candlesticks is gonna work. I am wondering, we have a new candlestick. I'm wondering if we wanna switch them out. Oh, she looks so perfect. Alexa just brought in this smaller candlestick, so I'm wondering. I definitely think she needs to be on this side. So let's live with this for a second and I'll find a place for these. Otherwise, there's a spot on the radiator for her because that's where that candlestick just came from. I feel like I can make a little cluster moment there. But I'm also thinking if we wanted to get candlesticks or keep an eye out for candlesticks of different lengths, it might be kind of fun to play with that on the mantle. Forgot that we had these bookends that were kind of like they like did what the bust did, and now it might be overkill to have them as well. Don't know, but I just saw there is a matching candlestick. I don't hate it. I definitely think it needs some like more intentional styling, so I'm gonna live with this for a second and see how I like it. I'm so happy she fits, because that was the other thing. Our mantle is quite shallow, that even like what we choose to put on it has to be very specific size. So I was nervous about her even fitting, My goodness. But she fits. So, yay. I want to have... I want to talk to you about the books, all the books. I want to really intentionally spend time, like every day or in multiple clips, sort of talking to you about what I'm reading, how I'm feeling, what's going on. I really like our get ready with me chats. I like showing you my outfits. I like bringing you along on fun things that I'm doing, but I feel like I could integrate a little bit more and be more intentional about sharing the books. So that is kind of the backbone of my internet presence. Annie bought about halfway through, and then it started to sort of like dwindle for me, and I was like, where are we going? Like, I saw the trajectory to the midpoint, but I don't see the trajectory to the end. It just kind of left me feeling very meh. This is about a robot named Annie. There's a company that makes these robots called Stellas and Handies. I wish they'd made it clear in the beginning of the book that they were not only making female robots. I do think that changes things a little bit. They have figured out how to make robots using discarded embryos. And from those embryos, they're able to get like skin, I think, hair follicles, like, and basically combine a little bit of human DNA with a robot to make a human looking and walking, having human interactions in the bedroom robot. And so Annie has been with her owner for 2 years, I think, when we meet her, 2 or 3 years. When she started with him, she was basically like a cleaning lady robot. She was a custom make. He had chosen how she was going to look, and they talk about these like neck seams. I guess there are certain robots that have that, and she's one of the ones that doesn't, so she looks more human. She starts out as his cleaning lady and then gets switched on to cuddle bunny mode and goes from being sort of like in this robotic state to being a little bit more cognizant. And the idea is that the owners can sort of teach these robots to do human things. We sort of meet her when she's a little ways into that journey. Outside of being a computer, like, she has thoughts and opinions, but she's still learning things. We get to meet her owner, Doug, and we see their dynamic and the way he treats her. Yeah, I think overall, it just sort of took a lot of things that are like really in my mind, especially right now. Like, looking at the way legislation is happening for women in the United States, I just think a lot about where I stand as a person with rights, and some of those rights I don't have anymore. Like, so it just got me thinking about a lot of things that are going on in the world, especially as we talk more and more about AI and literal robots take over human jobs, all of that kind of stuff. So I think I have no doubt it is meant to make you uncomfortable. I just don't know that I loved being uncomfortable while reading it, and that is okay. I'm not mad I read it, but I also don't think I needed to read it. The stack, shall we? So if you remember the other day, I just had a giant stack of books that I was gonna sort of read a chapter or two from. So let's sort of talk through where I am today. Starting off, I'm still reading Darkwater Daughter, less than 100 pages to go. Yeah, I've got 60 pages left or something. So I will definitely be finishing this tonight, which is great. I love this book. Pry it from my cold dead hands. It is so phenomenal. The amount that Hannah is able to pack into this under 500 page book is insane. I forgot how it just swept me away last year, and it makes me really excited to have Black Tide Sun already and to be able to just dive right in tomorrow once I finish this. Maybe I talked about it a couple weeks ago. It doesn't hurt to do another synopsis in case people don't want to go back in the vlogs. So we meet Mary. She's a storm singer, which means that she can summon weather things with her voice and songs that are just sort of like deep within her. There is this place, so we have like the earthly plane, and then there's this thing called the other. And so she is somebody that sort of exists in both, and that is what gives her her power. And there are a couple other humans that have these like magical abilities. There are people that have soothes. There are people called soothes, sorry, and they can actually go into the other and see people as they exist on this other plane. They can see some of the creatures that exist on that plane. Sometimes they are given visions and can see things that are potentially going to happen, but it makes very clear, right, that like decisions can change the future. So that's them. And then mages sort of have this influence over other people, and it's one of the more dangerous powers to have. So we meet Mary, and she is in a bind. She has been mistaken for a infamous highwaywoman and is at the gallows. And she was told by her mother for a very long time to never become a storm singer, never to let people know that she's a storm singer, because she will be sold essentially into slavery for a ship, either with pirates or the Navy. And the thing she always says is there are things worse than death. But when faced with death, Mary decides that singing her way out of this is a better option. From there, she is sent on her journey. She is basically sold into a contract, and we get to meet all of the players. We meet Sam, who is the other POV in this book. He is a soothe, and you sort of see that his power is a little bit broken. And the two of them are really playing this game of cat and mouse on the high seas. There are also a couple other people that are involved in this game, but the two main players are Mary and Sam. And oh, I just love it so much. I love it so much. It's very fantasy focused. Like, there's something between Mary and Sam, but we're certainly not exploring like romantic feelings or moments, right? Which I think is why I enjoy Hannah's writing. She's really good about giving us this, like, it could be more, and it's probably going to be more, but there's so much else going on. Like, that is not the plot. So it just makes it really enjoyable. Then we have the new Julie Soto book, Not Another Love Song. I am 24 pages in. I read chapter 1 and a page. I'm going to read this quickly because I wanted to keep reading it, and I did kind of have to stop myself and be like, no, you've got a bunch of other things to read, and that first chapter was 23 pages. That being said, I don't love the writing style. I'm interested to see as we get into it a little bit more if my opinion changes, but I find it very easy to read, but I don't know that I'm necessarily enjoying reading it. Those are two different things. We meet our main character, Gwen. She's a violinist. She is headed to do a wedding in New Jersey. And when she gets there, the wedding coordinator is like, where's your cello? And she's like, what do you mean? I play violin. You booked a violin and piano duo. And she's like, no, the bride wants a cello. Could you play one if we brought you one? And she's like, no, but yes, I guess. And who brings her a cello but this sort of like cello prodigy? She technically works for him. They're in the same orchestra. They play for the Manhattan Pops, which is a pop music orchestra. He has no idea who she is. She's like, I know your other band. I sit across from you at work, and you have no idea who I am. You can tell right off the bat that he's a little snarky. He's a little this, a little that. We're going on a musical journey, clearly, as we can tell from the cover. I went to the launch event of this book. The Manhattan Pops were inspired by the New York Pops. That is an actual orchestra here in the city. And there is another fictional band that Xander is in. I already kind of have questions about the construction of this world. I personally don't love pop culture references in contemporary books. They are kind of inevitable, right? But I think when you're leaning into a theme, having things that are pretty in your face instead of just like swept along. I don't particularly like that. Like, there was already a pop culture reference on page 1, right? She was listening to Imagine Dragons. And that was fine, but then later she talks about how she was listening to this fictional group. So I was like, well, we didn't get to see that. And that kind of, in my mind, I was like, disjointed. I'm having a little of this getting into it. So we'll see. I'm definitely going to read it. I feel like I'm going to read it quickly. I do think I'm going to end up enjoying it somewhat, but I don't know how much, to be honest, based off of how I'm feeling at the beginning. Then we have an ARC. This is an advanced reader copy of And the Sky Bled by S. Hati. This is one of the books that is coming to us from Bindery, and specifically it's coming from the Fantasy and Friends imprint, which was run by my friend Zoran. And I really wanted to read this as quickly as possible. I read House of Frank, which is being published by Jason, because I was asked to blurb it. So that was really exciting. So I've already read one of the books that they are putting out this year, so I'm excited to read another one, and I obviously want to read it and be able to talk about it so that people can get pre-orders in and stuff like that. This is a climate fantasy. I am 3 chapters in and 25 pages. I am really intrigued. I really like the writing style. I'll focus on chapter 1 specifically because that's what I read on that first day. The balance of dropping us into the middle of something where we have to very quickly pick up on stuff, but she's like slowly reeling us in, is great. We get a little bit of action, we get a little bit of the fantasy that's happening, and then chapters 2 and 3 is a little bit more of like what is happening in this world politically and socially. I'm really excited about it. So I think I might read this a little bit slowly because I am really excited to read Black Tide Sun, and I don't know how many fantasy books I want to be juggling at the same time because I also started A Letter to the Luminous Deep. So we'll see how quickly I read this, but it is pretty short. It's under 300 pages, so I might finish it by the end of the weekend. Who knows? And then we've got the last fantasy book that I'm reading. This is A Letter to the Luminous Deep. I can tell this one's gonna take me a while. 3 chapters in on page 35, about to start chapter 4. And the thing about this book is just the writing style. It is written entirely in letters. I thrive really well off of conversation and banter. Having essentially all exposition it's just a different form of storytelling, and I'm really intrigued by it. But knowing that there's a romance coming and already being 4 chapters in and not seeing a hint of it, I'm like, where is it? Give it to me. So I think I'm gonna be slowly reading this and seeing if at any point it like really grabs my attention. And then we have the 2 books that I am very invested in and have just been devouring. Had to Be You. I have the cover off because I'm reading it. So I've really put a dent in this book. I'm up to chapter 33 and I'm on page 143. So I'm blazing through this. This is contracted killers involved in a romance. And even where we are come chapters, because some of the chapters are really short, I think that's what's helping me sort of fly through them. We're still not in like the romance. We're still in that initial phase of attraction and curiosity. So I'm really excited to see where this goes. But they meet on a train, a sleeper train from Florence to Paris. She is going on a job. He is going to see his brother because he has just been involved in a murder and has a bullet that he needs dislodged, and his brother is a doctor. End up in the same car. There's a little bit of like questioning, like what's going on between the 2 of them. You know, they have a little fun time on the train. She's like kind of excited to talk to him and like get off the train with him in Paris. Then she can't find him because he is passed out in the bathroom, basically knocking on death's door from this bullet. She ends up taking his luggage and finds a ton of weapons in it. Some of them are illegal. And she's like, oh, this is why he took a train and not a plane. She's also like, what does he do? She's like, he has to be a collector or a dealer. And he just wants to find her. He gets out of the bathroom and he's like, I have to find this girl. And it takes them 6 months to be reunited when she has been contracted to kill him. First round that I read, I was really into. The more I read it, the more the writing is becoming disjointed for me, and I don't know what it is. I really liked both of their voices at the beginning, but the more we go, the less I'm liking his voice, and I can't quite put my finger on it. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's almost too quirky. I don't know. I just can't quite put my finger on it. I'm enjoying it. Clearly, I like sat and read it while I ran my laundry through this morning, which is a solid 2-hour process. I think I will have a lot of thoughts as I go through this. And then I'm making my way through Portrait of a Scotsman by Evie Dunmore. This is just so delightful. Like, when I came home, I just sat on my couch and read this for a little bit, because this is what I brought this with me and read it on the train. I'm super into this. This is the 3rd book in the series. I'm really glad I decided to not pick up the audiobook, because I'm realizing how much I didn't like the audiobook narration of the first 2, and it makes me want to go back and reread the first 2 and maybe have a slightly better feeling about them. Hattie, she has left her chaperones. So Hattie is part of this group of women that are attending Oxford for the first time. So she has a female chaperone that is her aunt, but then she also has this like male protector officer. She ditches them. She's like, I gotta go on this tour by myself, because you're not gonna let me go because the guy whose house it's in is not on good terms with my dad. I really want to go see some of the paintings in his house because they're really cool. So she gets to this house, it's downpouring, and you can immediately tell that the person that answers the door does not think that there's a tour going on. So she gets ushered into this room. She's just really excited about the painting still. She's just kind of like on a high from ditching her chaperones and the anticipation of seeing these paintings. And then this man comes in, and she's like, he kind of looks like a pirate. And I am in his treasure trove, as she's like holding a really antique vase. And he's like, oh, you're here for the tour? And she's like, yes. And he kisses her. And that was the end of chapter 1. I'm so glad I got my reaction on camera, because I was like, oh, this is gonna be good. This is gonna be good. This begins our adventure, and I'm giddy over it. I'm giddy. I'm obsessed. I've been talking for long enough, so I'm gonna shut this down and get some dinner rolling. Hello vlog, it's Friday. I'm just having a I have things to do today that I forgot about. I have spent this whole year without an actual planner, which is shocking for me. Like, I am a planner girl. I heavily rely on my planner, and so I've been relying on my calendar, but sometimes I don't always put things in my calendar that I should. I'm realizing that I had a yoga class this morning that I always go to and I forgot about, and I have a little party this evening. So, I've been so internal this week that I'm finally out of my shell, and I'm like, oh, right. Getting ourselves together. I am gonna get dressed, do my hair and makeup, and then we're gonna go out and get an engagement gift for a friend of mine, and then we're gonna head out to New Jersey. I'm gonna go to my parents first, because the dress that I wanted to wear to this party is at their house because I left it there by accident. I do have a second option that I'm gonna wear, so we'll kind of see what I'm feeling. And then I will go to the party because it's out there. Okay, so I've got on the Bettina dress. It's great. I love this dress. It's very malleable for different situations. I have a bag packed, so I'm gonna bring it with me just in case timing works out, where when I'm done with my errands I should just go get a bus and go home. The makeup for today, very glowy, very fresh, very minimal. Okay, we are course correcting. I thought I was gonna go to paper stores, but as I was looking, I was like, oh, I could get them a cookbook, and they're vegan. So I was looking to see, because they have a really decent book selection now that they're partnered with Barnes & Noble, but they didn't quite have a vegan situation. And I'm right by Barnes & Noble. Actually, I'm right by a Strand, but Barnes & Noble will have, I have my wrap in my bag, I need to eat. I think I'm just gonna go to Barnes & Noble because they also have cards. so good. Look at that. Wow. I love gift wrapping. I love gift giving. It is my love language. Like, I adore this. I around the holidays, like, I spend hours gift wrapping. I love it so much.